God, what's
And I love her movies too.
I do too. And one of my favorite actors is in it. I can't remember. Hope Floats. It's an old movie. Yeah.
So
her
just to
best
give you a
friend
heads up,
puts her on a
neighbors,
talk
this
show.
is our YouTube channel. So it's going to be facing that way. So if you don't want to be in the YouTube channel, just let me know. Okay?
So is this for them to hear me
Yes.
or for me to hear?
Yes.
So I can hear everybody.
So anything that you say,
Okay.
it's heard here in the video.
Okay.
It's more
Is it
clear.
recorded?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's
Okay.
live right now.
All right.
And then the microphone is right there in case, you know, I don't hear you or you don't hear me. It's right there. To speak up.
All right.
It's
Is it 8 o'clock?
It's 8:02.
All right.
You want to give a few more minutes?
It's completely up
Everybody
to
show
you.
it. Green?
I am all about being on time. So.
Okay.
Yes.
8:02.
All right.
All right. It's 8:02. Myra, would you like to call the meeting to order?
You can do that. Thank you.
No, you need to do it.
Oh.
You're president.
What did I say?
Okay, Myra, just say I'm going to call the meeting to order.
I'm calling the meeting to order. It's
Thank you.
8:03 a.m.
Thank
We're
you.
calling it to order.
Okay. Hi, my name is Robin Gard. I'm your yeah. What am I? I'm your property manager with Graham Management Company. This is your board of directors. This is Myra. She's your president, and Brianna is your secretary. The other board members are not here tonight, so we will not be able to make decisions tonight. The board won't, unless one of them either gets on the Zoom call or they walk through the gate. So tonight's going to be like an informational meeting for you. And I will tell you that in your next meeting is in January, and Mary Zaraga will be your manager at that time. I'm moving to another community. So tonight will be my last meeting, first and last meeting with y'all. We're going to go into approval of the prior meeting minutes, which we won't be able to do, but I will tell you that there were minutes taken by the prior management company that we will introduce in January and get those approved. There are some decisions that the board has already made that they have approved. However, because we do not have quorum, we will not be able to entertain a ratification tonight. These are decisions that were made in a huddle meeting or made via email. And what that means is when the decisions are made outside of an open meeting, which is what this is, the board has to make a motion and somebody has to second that motion for it to be carried. These items were approved, but they were not approved in an open meeting. So in order to ratify that, I need a full board here, or at least 3 members of the board to do that. So we'll ratify these at the next meeting. The board's had some talk about possibly having a Zoom meeting in December to get some of these things finalized, but that'll be posted to the front of the community if they decide to do that, or if they wait until January. But all the homeowners will be notified of the next meeting. Some of the things that they have decided are the pool management company is now Lone Star Pools, and they've been given a termination letter, and Sweetwater Pools will now become your pool management company starting in January. Bingle Holiday Decorations is the company that just put out the decor out here in front of the community, and that decision will be ratified in January as well. At the last huddle meeting, which is a small executive session that the board has on Tuesday night, every other Tuesday night, the board voted on a new website. The name of the website company is called Prepared Publications, and they have just a plethora of information that's going to be provided to the homeowners. You'll be able to make your payments online for your assessments. You'll be able to see your documents, such as your governing documents, your deed restrictions, your bylaws. You'll be able to see all the minutes from your meetings, the financial statements, any announcement that's made. So if there's going to be a meeting or a special meeting or an annual meeting, that'll be posted to the website, and you'd be able to just log in and see that information. You can email the board. There's a thing on there that said there's a place on there that's called Ask the Board. You can email the board and ask them questions, and it comes to the board and it comes to the management company. And so we can answer for them on their behalf. It actually comes to us in the form of an email. And so if there's something that the board is not aware of or does not know the answer to, we can always help you with that. You can also reach out to your manager directly. So it's a really good website. It is very organized. It's got a picture. It'll have a picture of the marquee on there. It'll tell you who all the board members are. It'll tell you a little bit about Ricewood. It tells you what positions the board holds. It does not give out their information as far as address, email, or phone number. You have to go through the website to do that. It also gives you information if you decide to replace your fence, or you want to put a pergola on the back of your home, that those are improvements or modifications to the exterior of your home. Those have to be approved by the ACC committee. Aren't you on the ACC committee? Okay. So you send in an application, you get that application right from the website, you fill it out, send it in. The ACC committee looks at it, reviews it. If you've met all the guidelines for the ACC guidelines, they approve your application. If you didn't provide a survey, or you didn't tell them what color paint you're going to paint your house or how tall you're going to put your fence, they deny that application, send it back to you for more information. But you can do all that through the website. So it's a lot more hands-on. It's very user-friendly. And I think it'll be a great addition to your community. We had graffiti removed from the mailboxes. And I think the mailboxes they've been painted already? Or we're in the process
still
of
missing
painting?
2.
Okay.
We're still missing 2.
So there's still two mailboxes that need to be painted, but they were tagged with graffiti. So the board's trying to keep up with that to keep your neighborhood looking nice. So those are the items that we're going to have to ratify at the next meeting. There is a financial report that I've submitted to the board. I can tell you that
Did they get one?
I've got one. You've got $66,000 in one of your operating accounts, $66,774. You've also got $123,882 in another operating account, and then you've got $207,256. It's in the back, y'all. $256,89 in your reserve account, which is like your savings account. So you've got a total of $394,441 that's liquid money that you have. I did a report for the board called a variance report. It just tells them where they are financially compared to, with comparison to their expenses. This shows that they were under budget in most items. They were only over budget in their admin and management, which was due to collection efforts, collecting the assessments that are owed, postage for those letters going out. And then you were over budget in your utilities. That was your electricity and your water. Everything else, you're right on budget. The board's done a really good job of managing your money. They vote on decisions that are to be made, and they don't spend your money until the board has approved that. So one person can't, Myra as the president cannot make a decision on expenses that are paid out or proposals that are paid out unless the board agrees on that. At least 3 people have to agree out of the 5-person board.
Let me see. Can I share this one with them?
That's the variance report.
Mhm.
And I was telling them you're over budget on 2 items. So
Okay.
we're not going to go through the items that you're under budget on.
Okay.
There's just no need. The 2023 budget for next year is not approved yet because the board is looking at making some improvements to your community. One of the things they want to do is they want to add a canvalier. Now, for those of you that don't know what that is, it's a shade structure. And it's one of those big shade structures that has the big arm on it. And it's got a big, sometimes they're square, sometimes they're triangle shade structure. And I'm just going to show you this so you'll know what we're talking about. But this is what it looks like. And it would be on this end of the pool so that you'd have some shade. Right now, I managed your property 3 years ago. And when we had 4th of July parties out here and all kinds of events at the pool, and there's never any shade. So the board's looking at some shade structures so that you can come out here and sunbathe if you want to, and then have some shade if you don't want to. Under these shade structures, there's going to be room for tables and chairs. So they're also looking at some round wrought iron tables and chairs that are connected. It'll be one piece. It'll be a table like this with legs that come out, and it'll have a chair. Hi, welcome.
Hello.
Are you a homeowner?
Ponga su nombre aquí, vecina.
Just sign in. But it'll have tables and chairs under it and that are connected. So hi. So the furniture won't get thrown in the pool anymore. It'll be concreted into the ground. So you don't have to worry about somebody walking off with your furniture anymore. But this is the first one that they're looking at. It's a 48 by 14. And these are around $25,000. I've got 3 bids for them to look at. Myra has met with one of the vendors. Sandra, who's not here tonight, has met with another one. But you're looking at somewhere, they range from 23,000 to 47,000, depending on what size they want. You are tax exempt, so I've let the vendors know that. But these Cavaliers, they have shipping charges. They have, now some of the vendors have even really gone into detail to tell how the fence will have to be removed so that they can get this heavy equipment in. It's a bulldozer, and they'll have to break up some of that concrete to put new concrete in when they're putting in these tables and chairs and the structure. So they've included all that. So you're looking at the price of the Cavalier itself is about $22,000, and then there's some extra expenses. And the board will be voting on these, so that if that's something that y'all are interested in, let them know. If there's something y'all don't care about having, let them know, because this is your association and this is your money that the board is deciding on. Okay. One of the other things that they're looking at is putting in a slide. Now, I questioned whether or not there'd be enough room for a slide, because your pool is only 5'8" Is it 5'6" or 5'8", or is it 8? Is it 6 foot down there? I can't. All right, I can't see it from here. I didn't know if there would be enough depth for a slide. If we put it here, you can. We would have to move those handrails to a different location because the slide would go here. But there's several options for slides as well, and they range anywhere from 30 to 80,000, depending on what you want. There's slides that are called fluted slides, and it's all one big tube, and you can't see the child when they go down. The other ones are just open slides. So there are various different kinds that they're looking at, but again, that would be an improvement to your community, and for you and your family to enjoy. The other thing they're looking into is adding lifeguards next year. So you wouldn't have a gate guard. You'd have 2 lifeguards here. One would be on the stand. We'd have to put the lifeguard stand back up, and they would be on the stand the whole time the pool's here. The pool's open, and then they would switch out. But it would take the place of the gate guard, because when one's on the stand, the other one will be out here watching the gate, make sure that people are signing in, not letting or using the thumbprint, not letting their friends in, without using the thumbprint machine, that thing, just to kind of guard your gate and make sure that the attendance is not something that the chemicals can't handle, because too many people at your pool make your chemical expense go up. So if you're letting people in here from other subdivisions or people that aren't registered, that's an expense that you have to incur for additional chemicals. So we've got a price of $1,422 for just Sweetwater to manage the pool. They will come out 2 times a week or 3 times a week, depending on the type of climate we're having or what time of the year it is. They'll clean the pool. They'll brush the sides of the pool, make sure the chemicals are what they're supposed to be, because there's a certain chemical level that ADA requires. Then I have another bid for them to manage the pool and add lifeguards, and that's $44,000. So depending on what your budget looks like for next year, you will either have the gate guards that you've had for the past several years, or you'll have lifeguards. But the board will vote on this and let you know. We also have bids for landscaping. Sandra, who is not here, met with your current landscaper, and we have a bid for, I think, $31,000, almost $32,000 for landscaping. And I'm not for sure. It says at the front entrance. That's all it says. Front entrance sign south south. So I don't know. I guess it would be right here and in front of the pool. I'm not for sure. I don't see any other area that's been noted on here. I can't imagine having $31,000 for the plants.
I
But-
think that one was for what just got done. I think that one was for what just got done.
This $31,000?
Mhm.
No, not this right here in front of the pool. That's not $31,000.
Okay.
That better not be $31,000. But it may include that. Those items may be on here. But Sandra is in charge of, or has the liaison. Hi, you want to sign in?
She already saying that. They're right there.
Oh, okay.
Ya lo metió ahí. Gracias.
But Sandra, who's a board member, is a liaison for the between the board and the landscaper, and she's been working with them to make sure that the property. I'm sorry, y'all. That there's plenty of landscaping and some extra color, taking out the dead plants, replacing them, and at the next meeting, she can kind of go over this because they can't vote on this tonight. Now, if the board wants an additional bid for color, they can certainly do that. Normally, you don't ask for another provider to bid on something that you already have a provider for, because if they go out for bids, if they ask another landscaper to give them a bid for color, your current landscaper is not going to want to maintain those. If they die, your current landscaper won't replace them. So that's the reasoning for not getting additional bids for landscaping. Minutes we've already gone over, ratifications we've gone over, financial report. There were some decisions to make. I'll give a management report. There were some decisions to be made tonight regarding some accounts that are at the attorney's office. The board is not able to make those decisions tonight because we don't have quorum, which means we don't have at least 3 board members in attendance. So there are some financial obligations the board needs to take into consideration regarding delinquent accounts, and they're not able to do that. So those will be talked about and decided upon by the board at the next meeting. Your attorney is Holton Young, and they give out a management or an attorney status report every month, and the next one will come out in December, and the board will be updated on whose account's been turned over to the attorney. That information will not be provided to you because you're not board members, but if there's any legal action that's been taken, the board can certainly give you a brief description of this is how many homes are being foreclosed on. These are how many accounts are at the attorney's office. We filed 4 lawsuits this month. Those are the kind of items they can update you on, so you'll know what kind of legal position your association is in. That is all I have that I can share with you in an informational meeting tonight, simply because, again, we don't have quorum. I will tell you that your property management company is now Graham Management. You have transitioned from CMI to our management company. We do an inspection of your community twice a month. So somebody comes out in the beginning of the month and does a drive-through and makes a note of any deed restriction violations, which include your trash cans that are in public view, cars that are parked in the yard. If you have trash at the curb after the day of collection or before the day of collection, that's a violation. If you have items stored in your driveway, that's a violation. If you're parked in the street and your car's on jacks, or if you have a boat in your driveway, those are all violations. So these are things that the inspector notices when he or she comes out. And then in 10 days, another inspection is done and the manager has to do it. So we come out and look at the same things that the first inspector did and see if those violations can be closed. We also walk your common area and let the board know if there are items at the pool that need to be addressed, in the park that need to be addressed, with the walking trail, with the dog waste stations. These are all things that your management company looks for and reports back to the board. So those things can be maintained on a monthly basis. Does anybody have any questions or concerns that they'd like to address to the board?
¿Alguna pregunta? ¿No? The light.
There's parts on the trail that are like completely flooded, so you have to like walk way around them. I've
Oh yeah.
addressed
We
it
could-
before, but
They're gonna put dirt up there?
you,
Cement on the cement
I
part.
contacted a company
Oh.
and they told us that we had to go and like lift it.
Oh,
and it was
raise
gonna
the-
cost like thousands of dollars.
I was gonna contact Martin because the poles, the lights or something that need to be concreted in. Remember? we
Yeah,
were
yeah,
talking
the
about that?
posters one.
I can have him. He does concrete raising. I can call Martin or give you the number
Mhm.
and or Mary the number and have him call y'all and have him look at that. He just actually did my sidewalk in Fairfield.
I have the email from 3 years ago that I can
Forward.
of all the
Okay.
locations because there's like 2 or 3 over here.
Mhm.
And there's 2 or 3 over
Well,
here.
yeah, send them to me like in the morning. I'm gonna be working tomorrow, so send them to me in the morning, and I'll send them to Martin and have him come out, and at least he can look at them and tell you what it would cost, and maybe by January y'all can make a decision.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Yes. We didn't know about that. Or I didn't know about that. Sorry. I don't walk through there. Your neighbor, if you're sharing a fence with a neighbor, it's 50-50. So you would be the one talking to your neighbor and letting them know, hey, the fence is falling down. I would advise approaching them with a quote already. If you already find somebody, 2 or at least 2 quotes, and say, look, this is how much it'll cost us. Could you give, 50% since it's your fence too? We're sharing it. Then we can approach it that way. If they're not responsive, I'm sure that we could send out a letter through management. We can do that.
No.
So, I mean, all I can advise you is,
I'm going to give
My
you my
homeowners.
card. I'm going to give you my card, and write somebody's name on here. He can come out and give you a bid for it. At least he can write up a bid for you, and you can share that with your neighbor if you want if you want to.
and it's always good to know, I stress that because I like talking to my neighbors, even when they're far away, right? So I like talking to them and getting to know them because you never know when you're going to have an emergency.
Right.
Also, I mean, it's a good way of, hey, when something happens in your house, you guys are sharing the fence. Hey, let's do it together. When can we save money for that? Yeah.
As far as the back, which needs there's a lot of breakage, a lot of stuff.
Westfield Village,
Oh my gosh.
that it still belongs to the owner, but you're talking about the weeds, as far as weeds or breaking of the fence.
Breaking of the development across the street. Thank you.
It's
Yeah.
his name and number.
Yeah, at this time, still belongs to the owners. That fence, any perimeter fence belongs to the owner. We're trying to work and see if we can do an amendment on our bylaws where we could help our neighbors, because it's nicer if we are able to upkeep it. Unfortunately,
It's a nice
mm-hmm, yeah.
It's the first thing that people see when they come into the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unfortunately, those fences, even if we were to take small parts here and there, like every other year or whatever, they're very expensive to maintain. Yeah, and that was with the past boards. I do not know how they do it. We are able to, like I said, amend it where whenever any other board comes aboard, they have to take care of it because it's already on the bylaws or on our CCNRs. They can't say, no, we are not going to take care of it. No, but we have to amend it in order for the next people that come behind us to be able to take care of it. As of right now, we are unable to take care of it as an association, so it falls on the neighbors, unfortunately. Mhm. But that takes a little bit. We have to collect not
51.
signature 51%, and it comes in a proxy. So management company will send out a letter explaining the means of this amendment, and then we will have to collect 51% of our community to make that an amendment into our bylaws. Mhm.
No, I didn't make
Doesn't
copies.
give out
No, there's
Okay.
not. Because we're not having a meeting
We're in
tonight.
the works of that.
We're
too.
just doing an informational
Yeah.
meeting tonight.
We're in the works of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Sí. Mhm. Mhm. El perro que dejan afuera que le echó a perder ya la fence. Ujú. Sí, sí.
Pero sí, ahora ya
Okay.
usted sale y puede observar a ver si
Sí.
eso que se pone enojado también porque pasa con sale, vamos a ver.
Sí. She's new to our community, and she had told me about. I think it's a pit bull that the owner right next to her is new as well, and he's already ripping the fence from her, the sharing fence. The dog is left unattended, and she thinks that the dog might be hungry. She has little ones living at home that they don't go to the backyard because of the dog. So I know she's told me about it. I told her to take pictures and send them to management. With the transition, I don't know if that got taken care of, but
She can send him to me.
mhm. Sí,
Actually, I'm going to put Mary's email address on here.
yeah. Yeah. She already went to talk to the neighbor. The neighbor won't listen to her, and
Is it a homeowner or is it a tenant that's living next door to her?
he told me he was a homeowner. I looked at it and I didn't see a record of it, but he moved there about, I want to say, almost a year ago.
We can look it up.
Almost a year.
We can look it up on.
Le va a dar ella la
HOA.
dirección para que le mande la información a ella y la foto, pero lo que ella dice es que, y lo que le estaba diciendo a ella es que con la transición de compañías, puede que no se haya hecho como puede que sí se haya hecho y él no está poniendo atención. Entonces, ella le va a dar la dirección de correo electrónico a donde mandarle y mande la foto también, con la dirección del vecino.
Maybe they could call in.
Yeah, because she told me she already
Here,
put
call this
4x4
number
posts on her fence because
and
the
ask for
dog
Mary.
like would jump on the fence.
Yeah.
I
Okay?
mean, I've
And
never
then her
heard
email
of the
address is on the
dog
back for you.
like before,
Okay.
but I've heard him bark every now and then. Miss Nicole.
I sent the email, so I just want to make sure that is on the record to.
We're not having a meeting tonight. We're having an informational meeting because we don't have quorum.
Mhm. But what email was it?
There's not enough board members here.
That's what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
not enough board members.
Right.
Mhm.
Where's it on there?
Mm,
'Cause it's like,
you can send an
that was
email.
already stated, right? It
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
was already stated that we were having a
Oh,
meeting, right?
yes. Yes. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Nicole.
No problem.
Oh, is that Nicole?
Yeah, that's Nicole. We fixed
Sorry.
your tree. How's your tree? How's your tree going? Is your tree growing? Must be.
Well, I mean, it's not growing yet,
Not
but
yet.
it's not moving right now, so.
Hopefully it'll
But the
grow.
water is coming on, so hopefully, it survives or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I'm more concerned of with my other main issue. That's why I came tonight.
Well, we thought so too.
thought so
I'm
too.
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
Mm.
showed up.
Thank
I'll put that in an email too.
Thank you.
Everybody should be here.
Thank
you,
you.
Nicole.
Also, you
You guys have a good evening.
Good night,
Thank you,
Nicole.
Nicole. What street is it on, sir?
Evening, Wayne.
I called the constable yesterday. The boat has been tagged. No, if you don't see this green tag on this boat, please let me know. But the constable came out yesterday. He tagged the boat, and if it's not gone by tomorrow, he'll be towing it. That's what I was told.
But if you ever see something like that, you're
Yes.
always welcome to call the sheriff's office because I guess if it's not attached to a car, then it doesn't need to be on the street.
Even if the boat's attached to a car, it's not allowed in this subdivision.
It cannot be in the driveway
No.
either. So they need.
Boats are not allowed.
And if it's in your house, it's gotta be put away. Do you know what?
That's what I
did see
reported to
that-
him.
Yeah, I did see that there was a whole bunch of mess.
This has got our phone
So,
number on it.
I
The
think
email address
they
is not going to be
probably
right
left,
because I'm not going to be your
but
manager.
I don't know
this
if
phone number
they're
is
taking
our
the boat
phone
or
number,
not.
which you probably already have.
But we are following
Mhm.
up with it because that was one of my concerns
Excuse-
too. I don't
There you
live
go.
on that
You haven't
street,
changed your number in the last
but
4
I
years, have you?
personally
Yes, I have.
didn't. I
You
never
haven't
liked
changed
the
your
boat.
number?
I never liked the camping.
You don't have my cell
They
phone
do
number
have
still,
another
do you?
camp. They have like
Mhm.
2 camping houses,
You changed it?
and they were
No,
always
I
attached
haven't.
in the truck. So that was always my, like Brianna says,
oh,
if
that's
you ever
this one
see
you got.
that,
It's got
take
our
a
phone number
picture,
on it.
send it to
Here you go.
management. It
you
always
go,
helps
sir.
when you guys
This
do
has got
it.
our
Yeah,
office
so
phone
go
number
to
on
the
it right
sheriff's
here.
office too.
You're welcome,
'Cause,
sir.
I mean, even if they have like a flat tire, it's not supposed to be.
You
parked
still
on the
have my
street,
cell
'cause
phone.
It's not drivable.
Let me
Mhm.
see.
So,
You still have my cell phone.
Something don't go away.
I'm gonna change it
They
now.
don't go away.
I'm gonna change it. I've contacted the precinct to get more signs. I don't know when they'll be done, but we can follow up on that. That's something that
That's
need to email.
I actually contacted the
Bridge?
precinct, no, the precinct, and they have an engineering, remember? I don't know if you remember, but they take 90 days. They take 90 days to actually approve something, like a traffic sign or anything that has to be like a legal sign. They take 90 days for something like that to be approved. So my request was done back on October the 31st, and they replied to me that it should be approved or denied by the
January.
end of November. By the end of November, it should be approved or denied because I requested for the no parking at any time for trucks on Mountain Forest. You know how I don't know if you guys have seen it before, but they're always parking on that area. And with the apartments getting built, I only see that more cars will park on that street because they're not going to have parking or enough parking on their place for their cars. So I'm waiting on that. But if anything, I have asked you,
Mhm.
are we able as a community to make our own signs of
No, you're
no
not.
parking at any time? No.
No, because these are not private streets; they're public streets.
Mhm. Mhm. And we have talked about that too, right, Robin? I don't know if
Yes, you
wanna talk
have.
about that.
Now, that has to be decided by the precinct. You can't just go out and paint red fire lane sign, fire lane, red curbs. You can't put up yellow no parking thing. That has to be determined by, first of all, by your governing documents and then by your precinct. I talked to the attorney that represents Ricewood. I talked to them yesterday to see if you have the ability to tow, and you do not. Your governing documents do not allow you to tow. And your governing documents also do not allow you to have a parking or a towing policy. So I think a little while ago, Myra mentioned that y'all are trying to make some amendments to your governing documents, to your deed restrictions. And that's the set of documents that would have to be amended. When you amend something, look at everything. You need to have a special meeting. The board will call a special meeting, and it'll be just to talk about your deed restrictions and what amendments you'd like to see. And then they'll take that information and then they'll send it back to the attorney and they say, this is what we would like to see amended in our governing documents. The attorney will draw up that document, send out, prepare a proxy. That proxy will get sent to every homeowner in the neighborhood. And then you have the authority to vote and the right to vote on whether or not you want to amend such items. If the board can collect 51% in favor of these amendments, then the amendment can be passed. And then signs can be put up that say, no parking in this area, towing is enforced, no parking, no 18-wheelers parked after 10 p.m. till 6 a.m. Those type of things you can add as an amendment item. But until that happens, you have to abide by the deed restrictions that are enforced now, which do not include a parking or towing violation. I mean, policy. I'm
Mhm.
sorry. That's not the news you wanted, but
So that's something else we just had to add to our amendments. I think last meeting I said that ours are very plain. They're just the way the community started, and nobody has ever added anything or changed anything to our community bylaws and CCNRs. So they're very plain and they're not very specific on things. So in order for them to work for us, we have to create amendments according, as time goes by, we start seeing little things that are missing in it. And we as a community have to amend all these things into it in order to be legal and for us to be able to do in the community.
you can't enforce something if it's not a part of your governing documents. So if your governing documents say everybody can leave their car parked in front of their front door, there's nothing I can do. I can't write them a deed restriction violation for it because it doesn't say in there that you can't be parked there. So it does say that your car has to be parked in your driveway or in the street. If it's parked in the street, it's got to be parked facing traffic. It's got to have 4 tires on it that are inflatable. It's got to be registered to be driven on the state of Texas highways. But so many times when like yesterday, I called the constable and I wanted this car towed from, I don't know what street it was, but it was on Jack's. And he went to the door and had me on speaker while he was at the door and told the homeowner that he was going to have to tow it. And the homeowner said, "Oh, I'll go out and change the tire." It'd been there for days and he hadn't done anything about it. So the constable drove away and said, "Oh, he's going to change the tire." Now, I don't know if he's done it today or not. He said, "If he didn't do it, call me back. I'll come back out." But I can't enforce something that the constable's not going to enforce. If I call him and say, "Look, this car is sitting on Jack's," and at the time it was sitting, there was a car parked on the curb, and then this was parked in the street. And he said, "No, the car that was parked in the curb is now gone." I said, "Well, so this car is still in the street?" And he said, "Well, he's going to change the tire." Okay, so there was nothing I could do about it. The constable was going to let him off. So I could send him a letter, waste your money, send a letter. But if the constable is going to let him off, I'm wasting your money. No, because it was yesterday when I called him. Now, I have not gone. I got here today in time for the meeting. I haven't gone back by that house today to see if the tire's on the vehicle. But like I said, we don't do an inspection every day. We do an inspection twice a month. So if somebody sees that vehicle is still on Jack's, yeah, the constable said, "Call us back. We'll come back." But I don't know if he'll tow it. I don't know if he'll put a sticker on it. I don't know. And I don't mean to disrespect the officers or the constables that come out here. But when homeowners are already disgruntled and they're already upset about the condition of their neighborhood, they call their management company and they expect us to do something about it. And a lot of times we can. It's not immediate because the Texas property code was written in favor of the homeowners. So if you have a deed restriction violation, such as you have a driveway full of stuff, trash, I cannot make you do anything about it until I tell you that it's there. Now, unless you're just blind, you know it's there. You know it's a deed restriction violation. But I have to put into writing, "Dear Mr. Homeowner, this is a deed restriction violation and these things must be removed from your driveway." When I come out and do the next inspection, if it's still there, I have to send them a certified letter. "Hey, it's still here." Then, if they don't do anything about it, then I can have it removed. I can bill that homeowner whatever it takes, whatever the contractor charges me to remove it from their driveway or to mow their yard. If you're not mowing your yard, I can send somebody out there to force mow your yard. And if once you get a certified letter, we don't have to notify you again for 6 months. We can go out and mow your yard for 6 months if you're not going to take care of it without letting you know, because the Texas property code says that I can. And then the charge of that gets put back on your account and you have to pay for that. That happens a lot in the summer, in the spring. Not right now so much because the grass is dormant. but there are deed restriction violations and actions the HOA board can take, such as clearing things from the driveway. And there's a couple homes here that they're going to have to do that because the homeowner is not responding to our request to have these things moved. Now, I will tell you, there is a home in this subdivision. I managed your property about 3 years ago when I was with PMG. I know you remember. I managed your property for a couple of years, many years ago. And there's a homeowner in the subdivision that stuff is still in his driveway. And the prior management, after they left, after this community was managed by another management company and then moved to another management company, neither one of them had it removed. Your governing documents state that the board has the right to hire somebody to encroach upon that property and remove those items or bring that property into compliance. And nobody's ever done it. So it's just compiled and just things have just been added to it. And it's a complete eyesore. So I've sent the first letter. Another inspection is going to be done Tuesday. If it's there Tuesday, we'll be hiring somebody to remove it. And the homeowner's going to have to pay for that. We sent a letter first. This next one will be the certified, and then we'll go out and remove it.
Did he ever get certified letters?
Oh
from
yeah,
the
he got
past
certified letters
managements?
before. And no, sir, because it's been 3 years. The certified letter is only good for 6 months. I don't know if this individual pays his dues or not. I probably doubt it. No, you have to foreclose on them. You have to foreclose on them. Yeah, but that takes time. You have to file a lawsuit. You have to file a lawsuit first. The homeowner has to be given 30 days to respond to that lawsuit letter. Then you have to file a judgment, and the judge has to approve that. That gives them another 30 days. Then you file an agreed judgment, which the judge says, okay, this is how much I'm going to make him pay you. But in the meantime, they're getting billed attorney fees, attorney letter fees, because the attorney is taking all these actions against them. So their account is just building. Who do you think is paying those attorneys? Your association. The owners in this subdivision are paying for their legal fees until they pay it, because the attorney bills your association, you pay the bill, and that amount gets put on the homeowner's account. So a lot of times what happens is homeowners, their account gets built up, and then they face foreclosure. They decide to file bankruptcy. And then the money just sits there and you don't get paid. So a lot of these people have been at foreclosure's door, I'll say, many times, and then they file bankruptcy, and we can't do anything until their bankruptcy is either discharged or dismissed. And so to answer your question, yes, we can foreclose and get the property sold and the deed changed, but that's a long process. In the meantime, we're pursuing legal collections, but the law gives the homeowner time to respond. And then if you foreclose, they have 180 days to redeem their property. It's not like a mortgage foreclosure or a tax lien foreclosure. A mortgage foreclosure, somebody will come knock on their door and they say, your home's been foreclosed on, you've been served, and the constable can give you as long as he wants for you to get out. On a HOA foreclosure, you get 180 days to redeem your property, but you never have to leave it. You get to live in it. And then if the IRS forecloses on you, you're in big dog trouble. They want you out. No, they don't give you much time to get out, like 15 minutes. So yeah, it's a long process. It is a long process. And these are the people that have to make that decision, So when you thank y'all. I'm sorry not everybody was here, y'all.
Have a good night. Thank you. For
Happy
being here.
holidays.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a long drawn out process. These people have to make those decisions every single month about how to get, and then, and everybody's offered a payment plan. Everybody is offered the opportunity to make payments in a payment plan so that, they don't have to come up with this large amount of money all at once. and they make a payment, then they don't make any more payments. And then that has to be pursued in a different manner. So I encourage you that when the election comes up, if you want to know more about this and you want to be involved with that, run for the board, because it's a whole different ball game sitting in this chair than in one of these chairs. In this chair, if you're on the board, you understand what it takes to keep your community happy, to keep your community looking good, and it's not an overnight procedure for any of those items. Everything has to be voted on, and they do the very best they can, but not all the board members even agree. I mean, you got 5 people. I'm sorry?
Mhm.
Yes, you're right. Or show up. So I'm
In
sorry
March
we were
had
not
3.
able to make decisions tonight that we can share with you. But as I said, we don't have quorum, and until we do, we can't have a formal meeting. So
Anybody else has any more questions?
Yes. You'll crash into the left turn over here.
Oh, he's always talked about that.
the what?
They
The
won't do anything about it.
the
We
traffic
talked-
sign,
We talked to
the
the
traffic
traffic.
light.
People
You know
about
how
that.
the procedure is?
You have to get a traffic
Study.
study, yeah. And they told me that they did it during COVID, and they determined that we couldn't have one.
As of a week ago, yes, you can have one.
You want a yield?
Yes, and
It's flashing yield, just like the one on the south. The one on the north, they do have it, and we don't have it.
Yeah.
The last 2 managers,
Coming
we got
into the
the 2
neighborhood.
ladies who can do anything about it. I talked to the guy who was working. Guy, he said, the website, he said, you look at that website, this application you have to do, there's 3 categories you have to qualify. Number 1, it should be 500 feet visibility, he said, you have no problem. Number 2, there shouldn't be any basic accident in the paper, now. He doesn't know it, but he said, I don't think anybody has. Third one, I'm too old, I can't do it. So he said, you can do it, he said, you should take about 3 to 4 months to study, and they change the sign, and they change the.
You will
He said,
marry
"You
about
gotta do it,
that."
but I can't do that in an individual, because I'm not. That's what I'm doing. Anybody wants to initiate that, or you want me to start, just like the lights that are out, like.
Okay. Well, thank you.
I'm a proponent for it. I mean, I think it's silly sitting
I
there
talked to
waiting
the
all the
guy
time.
who was working, he's a technician, and he knew about it. Because before that, it was a good idiot, the call
Sat
guy,
there.
you had the management, you know, right and left. Then you had Mike, hey, I have nothing got, I told him, he's come soon. You have Mike, and he didn't have enough time, and he said it's a lot of work. He said it's a lot of work.
We'll
So
look
let's
into
see-
it again.
Let's see if the board and Robin wants to get on.
We'll look into it again, right? We'll look into it again and see what we can do about it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He said that there's 3 candidates, but I can't remember. He
Yeah.
said, you look at it, he said, I don't see any problem. He said, no, he's here once a month.
Yeah.
He basically revamps everything. Just gotta go through the procedure. The website is in the box.
Okay.
You can
All right.
basically do that. He said, it's a very simple thing.
Yeah, send that
I
to
can
Mary.
actually
and see.
do that.
I didn't know it was on the box.
Then you make a left turn over here, change it to flashing wheel.
Can you go through the precinct
One down
website
south.
for that one?
The traffic.
On the north by the gas station.
Is it the road and bridge, or is it the traffic department, the engineering department?
I went through the precinct and it gives me traffic sign.
Did you say that the website's on the box out there?
Yeah, it's right in the box. I got a picture.
You do? Why don't you send it to me? Or just
Yeah,
text
yeah.
it to me, since
Oh,
you
yeah.
have my number.
Mhm.
Well, because it's red.
Just text it to me.
Nobody's coming into
Nobody
traffic.
All right.
And then they
Gas station's very
turn
simple.
green
So I don't see
and
a problem.
the cars have to
Okay.
stop for you. Like,
Why aren't you on the board? Why aren't you on the board?
Exactly what it said.
Well, you have these great ideas.
If you wanna be on the board, you have to show up. Right now, look at you.
Look, you showed up.
You got two-
I make a motion.
Yeah.
If you were on the
had
board,
quorum.
if you were on the board, we'd have quorum.
No.
Yeah.
Nobody shows up. They all wanna be on the board. This last time I was.
That's why I'm saying you should be on the board.
Robert, last time the guy wasn't even living here, he was trying to get on the board.
Well, you live here.
Yeah.
I don't
You
know.
should get on the board. You should get on the board.
Alright.
You know everything that goes on around here anyway.
Artura's thinking about it.
Huh?
Artura's thinking
Are
about
you
it.
really? Oh, that would be great. But if you did that, you couldn't be on the ACC committee. You could either be on the board or the ACC committee.
Got it.
So we have to find somebody to take your place. So, hey,
Just got a suggestion. Just to put $80,000 circle to forward over there, $20,000. So can you build a building around here so you can have a meeting without visitors at all? As if
You know
there's
what? If you were
clubhouses
on the
and all the
board-
places they have,
if you were on the board, that could be something that you could help do.
paying the guy $30,000 for landscaping, that's $100 a day.
I
Where you
get
guys
that.
find these people?
I get that. So
Where did you find them? These people? The guy you over here once a week, they just put a little more, they just fell out of it.
I didn't hire him.
Because I can sell
They
it
do
to him.
maintain a lot more
Huh?
than, they do maintain a lot more than I think everyone
I mean, I'm
realizes.
retired. I'm over here all the time. I see a lot of work coming along.
They have to do all the common areas, all the
Mhm.
She's
easements.
over here once a week. That's how
No.
bad.
I know she pretty much
All the
lives
time.
here, so.
I just need an address. I'm here all the time.
She was going around. I was telling myself, I'm worried.
How is your section 8?
Huh?
We call it section 8 because that's in the map, section 8. How is your section? She's all the way at the on the Keith Harrow and Westville Village area.
Oh, Dean Dale and Scotty and all that over there. Yeah.
Nobody knows. 'cause our
Yeah.
neighborhood-
Yeah.
I only remember Scotty because we used to have to force mow it all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Is that guy still parking all those cars in the cul-de-sac over there? When you drive in, when you go to the very end, when you drive into your section and you keep going straight, there's a bunch of cars. He runs a business over there and all his workers. Is there?
Actually, you should change the name over here. Rice.
Yeah.
Or-
Hey, I had looked into the mud.
I know.
I had looked into
Some of them
the-
people need to kick their kids out, make them go get lives. I know.
Hey. I had looked into the mud because what I wanted to do was do kind of like I don't know if I told you about this, but like a walk path on that ditch back there,
Uh-huh.
and maybe open the way, maybe build a
Oh,
bridge
uh-huh.
so that we can open the way for like
That's not your
No, I
property
know.
though.
no. Huh?
Yeah, but y'all don't own that property.
I've seen Oh yeah. I've seen other areas where they actually have a walking trail on those ditches.
But-
And I got in touch with somebody in the mud and they told me they were gonna look into it. So
All right. So who owns
Maybe.
that property though? Does the mud own that?
the mud,
That's-
but that's where I always like ask and complain because they say that we do own that back part of the ditch. Like
You
a
maintain. I
certain
think you
part.
maintain it, but I don't know if you own that or not though, Myra.
They say that we're gonna look into it. We'll see if
good.
it's a yes or a no.
Good.
But I wanted to share because it was something that I was like really looking into because I would like to connect with that area.
That would be
of
nice. I
our
don't know why they stick y'all over
I
there.
know we don't own it because that's where the fence comes in. We don't own that property.
Okay. That-
Along
the-
the bayou.
the bayou.
Yeah, remember? We don't own it, so it's not ours.
But if you could do a property agreement or something to where they would allow you to put some kind of a walking path or a trail or some kind of a,
Yeah, it's
something there
more
that
like
would
a
develop,
mud or recreational for the by the mud.
or maybe they'd sell it to you. I know, but I'm just saying.
I don't know,
Anyway,
but looking into it. Hey. Oh, I think.
right?
No, and we're looking into different quotes. It's not that one quote.
No,
But-
there are several quotes. But they range from, slides aren't cheap. They range from 30 to 80. Heck, you can put a slide in here for $200,000 if you had room. Don't look at me. I'm not going to suggest that you. We're talking about the
water
slide.
A water slide.
Oh, the $80,000 water
Yeah,
slide?
yeah. You can wear your Speedo to the pool then and come slide down the water slide.
I like that.
I was gonna ask a question about.
All right.
Yes, so true. Uh-huh.
They give you 10 years warranty. And they last
On the
up to, like,
structure.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like 30 years on it.
And they're hurricane rated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are hurricane rated.
Mm-hmm. No, it's one of those shades that actually lets the air go through.
Like you see them at parks and all that.
Yeah. So it's not one that we're gonna. It's not like those. They
It's not
call
like
them
the sunbrellas.
umbrellas, which
The
you
sunbrellas
open
are
and then
more
close.
of a dome,
No.
and the water. The wind does not blow through them; it picks it up.
But I think even if we decided to take it off and there's like a storm coming or things like that, with the new management company, pool management company, they take care of all that. Yeah, they would take that off, preparing us for a storm kind of thing, so they wouldn't rip or anything like that. Mm-hmm.
Sir? Oh, you did?
But okay. All right, SA 58. Anybody else has a question, comment, concern? No? Anybody else running for the board?
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm gonna send this to you, Myra.
Okay. Oh.
For me?
All right.
Oh, yes, sir.
Afterwards.
It's
He
about
said
what?
afterwards.
Speak up, man.
He just said afterwards.
It's
He'll
about-
Oh,
talk
you need to
you
talk to me afterwards?
Yeah.
Okay. No problem.
All right.
We can do that.
Adjourn.
Thank
Yeah.
y'all very much for coming out. I am very sorry that we could not have a meeting tonight.
Yeah, we're outside, it's 50-degree outside. This is common sense.
I'm
No,
talking about the
no.
board.
That's the point. Forget the point. Point is just-
Oh no.
No.
We are good with you guys.
Yes, we
Oh, no,
appreciate
no,
y'all
no.
coming out, really.
Yeah, we really
Back
appreciate it.
very first time back in 2017, actually, when you had it in school.
Wait, let me tell you
Yes,
something.
we had an annual meeting at the school.
Yeah. See how many people showed up?
Yes, I did. Yes, I
haven't
did.
seen that crowd yet.
Well, you know what?
That
Maybe
was
you
him.
will.
No, just in general, basically, where it was. It was back.
I'm gonna close
A regular
the
meeting.
YouTube.
Food, drink, and everything else that they laugh at.
The regular meetings don't really have very
I'm
much.
sorry?
The regular meetings don't usually have very much, attendance, but the annual meetings do have higher attendance. So,
Yeah. So,
um,
so next time you have an annual meeting, get your thing out so you can vote for you
No,
to be on.
ain't happening.
See, that's why nothing. Okay, and you're the perfect example. You want to come to the board meeting and fuss about it, but you won't get on the board to help.
No, this is-
And I can say that to you because
I can't
I've been
say that.
watching you sit in that chair for years.
Don't let me talk.